Welcome to the Strategy Mastermind video series. I'm Ute Lambrecht. I'm the Mastermind consultant and founder at the Mastermind Hub. I love visiting new places and seeing the world, both in short travel adventures and also to live in a place for a while and then to move on. So when I decided to create my own business, one of the criteria was that I could run my business from anywhere in the world as long as it had internet connection. To discuss this topic of creating a location-independent lifestyle, I have three business owners with me today who are all ardent travelers and constantly on the move. So with me today are Lisa Murray. Lisa is the Chief Idea Nurturer, writer and mentor at creativitylab.tv. Hi, Lisa.
Hi.
Hey. Hannah Mang. Hannah is the copywriter with attitude at hannahmang.com. Hi, Hannah.
Hi.
Hey. And Maria Mara. Maria is a psychologist, authentic living coach, and co-founder at Super Chicks Camp. Hi, Maria.
Hi, everyone.
So I would first like to start by asking you, what do you do and how have you set up your business that allows you to travel the world? So let's start with Lisa.
Sure. Okay, so I run a business called Creativity Lab, which in effect, I show people how to create whatever they'd like to create. And it actually created itself, this business, and it took itself overseas before I had even thought I was going overseas. I started talking about it at different events and people were like, oh, well, you come and do that in Sweden. And like, I went to Sweden and then it just kept going. Like last year, I think I did 10 countries of, running events of, Creativity Lab. And so that part of it, the event part of it has gone all around the world and continues to grow. And literally I say no more often than I say yes these days, because, there's a limited amount of time of what you would like to do and create. So the event part of it has been really fun. And then the rest of the business though, I have also a lot of online programs and same deal. If there's internet, I can go there if I choose, And it's interesting because sometimes I want to go somewhere where there's not internet. And then there's this whole conundrum that comes up about, well, how can this work? So, it's been a fun journey working it all out. And I've been doing this for 3 years now, and like traveling a lot, coming home, traveling a lot, coming home. And it's always interesting to see. It's different every time.
Yeah, super. I can imagine that it brings a lot of variety into your life. Right?
Yes, it does.
Now, in true independent location type of style, living in paradise, Hannah and Maria are joining us from Puerto Rico.
Costa Rica.
Sorry, Puerto Rico. So let's ask you, Hannah, what do you do, and how have you set up your business so that it's that you can travel?
Yeah, well, you know this, Ute, I think. Well, I studied law, so it was one of my most important, it was the key element for me that I wanted in my life, to be location independent. And studying law, well, it doesn't really provide you with that option. So that was really important for me to create that. That was my ultimate dream. So now, well, I'm a writer, so basically I just need like my brain and my hands and a laptop, ideally internet connection. It's honestly sometimes a challenge to find. Like here, we were looking for a spot, and because where we stayed, the internet wasn't that great. So, sometimes you just have to be really flexible. And other than that, like with today's technology software, like I have a virtual assistant. Everything is just online. So I really just need to show up. Sometimes time zones can be tricky if you have calls, but you just really, if you're flexible, I guess that's how I ended up, being flexible.
Yeah, super. Thank you. Maria, what do you do, and how have you set up your business so that you can travel?
I'm a therapist and an authentic living coach. And I also founded Super Chicks Camp with a very good friend of mine, which is a teen empowerment camp. which happens in several locations around the world each year. So basically, this all transformed for me in the last year, where I just started shifting my clients and accepting clients only online. So I was getting requests from people in different countries, and the face-to-face in my office in Cyprus started to decline, and my Skype session started to go up, and it happened with intention. There was an intention from my part. And it also at the same time happened in a very flowing way. So now again, like Hannah, I just need my laptop and a Skype connection to have my sessions, and just go for it. And it's amazing. Like, otherwise I couldn't have stayed on in Costa Rica right now after our conference. So
yeah, fantastic. That sounds really amazing. Thank you. So what are the challenges or, of living this type of a lifestyle? Well, it would be good to know from, your experience. You've done this for a while. So maybe we start with Hannah this time.
You're like, I can see it in your face. You've been challenged. I actually have been. I mean, I'm probably the craziest in this circle because that I literally do not have a home anymore, and gave up my apartment in January, and I took off. So that can be super challenging. I mean, like the challenges that everyone faces is I started talking about a little bit already. How can I get an internet connection? I need a great internet connection to do Skype calls like this, or just calls like this. Time difference can really be tricky. Sometimes you're just gonna have to like stay up late or get up early, because just because you're traveling the world, you can't make your clients do that for you, right? So it's like a little bit. And the biggest challenge I had this year was that I broke my toe. So actually, that was close to you in New Zealand, and so that was quite challenging because I had to travel with a big cast on, and health insurance and all these issues came up, and I never really thought about that in advance. And I don't want to be the party pooper here because I'm still traveling and I still went to Costa Rica and I'm healing and all of that. But if you're living that kind of lifestyle and then you get injured on top of it, it can be really challenging. And sometimes, it's like a lot of uncertainty too. It's like, well, where am I going to go? Yes. I don't know. Let's see. So you really have to be up for that. But that's just me because I literally don't have a home.
Wow. Yes, that's amazing. I celebrate you, Hannah. I think what you're doing is amazing. Yeah. Lisa, have you found any challenges and how you're dealing with them, or any experiences?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things, because I travel and I run my online programs at the same time, and I'm running live events at the same time. So often it's very intense in terms of all the different moving parts that are going on. Mm-hmm. So yes, there is a time zone thing that sometimes shows up. For me, because I'm from Australia, and I will usually go for, 4 to 6 weeks, maybe 2 months at a time, and then come back. And for me, so there's a jet lag thing that I always have to consider, and I'm away for the first 6 weeks of next year, and people are trying to get me to be away for even longer. And I'm like, no, because I don't want to go through the intensity of the jet lag that comes when you go to a lot of places, because my travel tends to be not sort of hanging out in one place, but literally moving from place to place. And one time I did, I think 10 events in, I did 7 events in 10 days in 5 countries. And I will never do that again because it was just so insane. And I have a weird thing with time. So for me, it's bad enough when I'm home, and then when I'm traveling and I'm always computing times and zones and things, yeah, that can be insane. So I've missed a few planes along the way. But the actual working part of it, it's very rare. If you're creative and you're flexible, it's very rare that you can't come to a way of being with it. And the only probably there was one time I was on this little island in the south of Norway, and we thought I would have internet. We did every single thing we could do to get me to have internet, and we got there and no internet. So it was like 4-day holiday. It was great. You know? So this is where you're just going to go, okay, that's not going to work. I'll choose something else, you know. Can't get hung up about it.
Yeah, super. Gosh, that's interesting. Maria, any challenges you faced so far?
Yeah, like for me it's a bit different because my home base is in Cyprus. So like my challenge is being away for like a few weeks at a time, and I have 2 dogs, and you know, getting them looked after. I have a pet nanny now when necessary. Like Lisa said, I think you can be creative in the solutions you find.
You have to.
Yeah, sorry, I've got a runny nose.
Even here in Paradise.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I can imagine. And you know, you've obviously created a new job business opportunity for dog nannies, right?
Yeah.
Seeing it like that.
Nice reframe, Ute.
Yes. You might as well see all the positives that this is bringing.
Sure.
Yeah. So to close, if someone wants to set up an online business, what would you suggest they do, and have you got any tips that you would like to share from your lessons learned? So Maria, shall we start with you first?
For me, I guess it would be to say that, just whatever you're doing, gather your ideas, start putting them into flow, and set your intentions, and magic just happens. It's crazy sometimes. Once you know the direction you're going, even if you don't know the specifics of it, you just meet the right people and you get the right clients, and it's beautiful flow.
Oh, that's wonderful. Good. That's fantastic. Thank you. Lisa, any tips?
I've got lots of tips. I'm just thinking where to start, you know. One thing I would say is like connect with people in real time as much as you can as well. Because literally it's all my personal connections with people that keep allowing me to go to other countries and to actually keep creating beyond and beyond and beyond. And what happens is that after a while, your in-person connections and your online connections all kind of merge into this thing where then you can just have the choice of, okay, who do I know in San Diego? Okay, let me see what that person's doing, and you can actually start to choose where you want to go and have the fun with that, as well as, the online side of it. So that connection part is very important, and it's really enabled me to grow my business quite dynamically. And I would say to you that just because your business is online doesn't mean you have to work in it all the time. Like I made a real point of, okay, when I'm traveling, I'm still going to have time out. I'm going to have time just to walk around the city for 5 hours if that's what I want to do, So I also schedule things in such a way, like I'm usually at least a couple of months ahead, if not much more. And so I tend to schedule my things so that I know, okay, I'll be happy to do that early in the morning so that I can go out for the day or whatever the case may be. So that sort of looking ahead thing is really important, because you've got to know what you want out of being sort of location independent or traveling. And for me, it was like, well, I want the adventure of it. And I don't want to just be doing what I would do at home while I'm there,
That's such a good point, Lisa. I mean, that's because you tend to work because there are no limits, it's you on your own and you make all the decisions, and actually scheduling time for adventure is so important. Thanks. That's a really great point. Hannah, any tips from you?
Yeah, I love everything Lisa said, because the 2 things that you said, number 1, your personal connections, because it's exactly the same with me. Like almost everywhere I go to like meet someone or visit someone, or I go with someone, like Maria and I are here now, and it's not like I'm just all by myself somewhere, I mean, it can happen sometimes, and sometimes I have like gaps, right? Like Maria's leaving 2 days earlier, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll survive in Costa Rica on my own for 2 days. Yours. But that's a big one. And also the making sure that you have time to enjoy where you are, because that's actually one of the challenges for me, you know, if you like, I don't know, see me on Facebook or Instagram or something, it might look like I'm on a constant vacation, but you don't know how many places I've been to. And I was like basically only working, and I was like, man, I haven't even like seen anything. I'm leaving tomorrow. So this is really important, that I'm not the best at like, you know, managing my time, but trying to do things in the morning so that you can free up your time later on. That's a big one. But what I wanted to add to that is just, it's more like a mindset thing, like really keep an open mind, really, you know, keep an open heart. Things are gonna go wrong, which is like whatever you've planned might not happen that way. You know, flights get canceled, nature is happening, weather is happening. So you're just gonna be really open and flexible and trust that, you know, whatever's happening happens for a reason. And then it's just an amazing, incredible adventure that allows you to grow every day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Gosh, that's fantastic. And you know, it's really that adventure that you actually have to plan your adventure, right? It doesn't just happen even if you're location independent. You actually have to bring this about. So
You still gotta go.
Yes, yeah, I know.
I actually was location independent for quite a while, and I was sitting in Vienna because I was like overwhelmed with all the choices. I was like, I don't know where to go, you know. And then it was like when you take the first step, then things start to fall into place, and then you meet people here, you meet people there, and it's like you get into that state of flow, and then it's just incredible.
Yeah, super. Thank you so much. So, thank you so much to my 3 guests for sharing their experience today. Please check out their work and websites. You'll find the links below this video. As you've just experienced, when we come together in small groups and share our unique perspectives, we inspire each other. My wish is that this discussion has encouraged you to start your own mastermind, and perhaps we'll soon be bumping into each other on our travels around the world. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.